Welcome back to the English Spectrum, your cozy place to learn easy English through real-life conversations. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Tom. Lisa, can I ask you something slightly uncomfortable?
You always do, Tom. But go ahead.
When was the last time you said your real dream out loud?
Wow, that is uncomfortable.
Right? I'm not even asking if you've achieved it. I'm just asking if you've said it, with your mouth, to another human being.
Honestly, Tom, I can't remember. And that's kind of sad, isn't it?
It's not sad. It's actually very normal. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today.
So today's topic is something I think a lot of people feel but rarely name. The fear of saying your dream out loud.
Yes, not the fear of failing at your dream, not the fear of not being good enough, but the fear that happens even before that, the fear of simply admitting it.
That's so real. Because inside your head, the dream can be safe. It can be soft. It can be protected.
Exactly. It lives in this warm, quiet room inside you. No one can judge it. No one can laugh at it. No one can say, that's unrealistic, or you're too old for that, or who do you think you are?
And the moment you say it out loud, the dream leaves that room. It becomes real and vulnerable.
Yes, vulnerability is the real monster here, not failure. Failure happens later. Vulnerability happens the second you open your mouth.
So people stay quiet, not because they don't have dreams, but because they're protecting something precious.
That's beautifully said. And I think that's the first truth of this episode. Silence is not emptiness. Sometimes silence is just a very careful form of protection.
But here's what I don't understand. Why do we feel ashamed of wanting something? Why is it easier to say, I hate my job, than to say, I want to be a writer?
Oof, that's such a good question. I think part of it is that complaining is socially acceptable. Everyone complains. It connects us. Oh, you hate your job too? Same.
Right. Misery loves company. But saying what you actually want, that's isolating.
Yes, because when you say your dream, you're not asking for company in misery. You're asking to be seen. And being seen is terrifying.
There's also this fear that if you say it and fail, people will remember. They'll think, remember when Tom said he wanted to be a musician? Yeah, that didn't work out.
Wow, that hit close to home. The fear of being remembered as someone who tried and failed, instead of someone who never tried at all.
Exactly. And society actually rewards the second one more. The person who never tried is realistic. The person who tried and failed is delusional.
That's uncomfortable but true. So we stay quiet. We keep the dream in that safe, warm room. And we tell ourselves, I'll say it when I'm more sure. I'll say it when I'm closer.
But here's the problem with that.
Let me guess. Someday never comes.
Not exactly. Someday does come. But by the time it arrives, you've forgotten what you wanted to say.
Oh, that's darker. I like it.
Think about it. When you never say your dream out loud, you never give it air. And dreams need air, Tom. They need oxygen. They need to be spoken, even if it's just a whisper.
So the dream slowly suffocates in that warm, safe room?
Yes. Not because it was impossible, but because you never let it breathe. And then one day, someone asks you, what did you used to want? And you realize you don't even remember anymore.
That's genuinely sad. And I think a lot of people live there. They don't have a dead dream. They have a dream they never fed.
Right. And that's different from failure. Failure means you tried. This is just disappearance.
So maybe the first act of courage isn't pursuing the dream. Maybe the first act is just saying it.
To yourself. To one person. In a whisper. That's it.
Okay, but let's be honest here. The fear isn't irrational. Sometimes people do laugh. Sometimes people do say, that's stupid, or you'll never make money from that.
Yes, and that's the part we can't pretend away. Vulnerability has real risks.
So what do? Do we just accept that people might hurt us?
I think we choose who we say it to. Not everyone deserves to hear your dream.
That's a really important point. Because a lot of advice says, shout your dream from the rooftops. But that's terrible advice if the people on the rooftop are judgmental.
Shout your dream from the rooftop sounds inspiring until you realize your neighbors are all accountants who think art is a hobby.
Right. So maybe the wiser approach is find one safe person. Just one. Just someone who won't laugh, won't fix, won't judge. Someone who will just listen.
Yes. And that person doesn't have to believe in your dream. They just have to believe in your right to have it.
That's beautiful. Believe in your right to have it. Not believe it will happen. Just believe that you're allowed to want it.
Exactly. Because so many of us are walking around feeling like we need permission. Permission to want. Permission to hope. Permission to be a little unrealistic.
So maybe this episode is permission. Quiet, gentle permission.
Let me tell you a small story. A few years ago, I told one friend that I wanted to start a podcast. Not this podcast, just a podcast.
What did they say?
They said, okay, what would it be about? That's it. No judgment. No excitement. Just curiosity.
And how did that feel?
Terrifying. My heart was beating so fast. But after I said it, something shifted. The dream felt lighter. Like it wasn't just mine anymore. Like it was real.
And did you start that podcast?
That specific idea never happened. But saying it out loud made me realize I could create something. And eventually, that led to this.
So the dream changed, but the act of speaking it unlocked something.
Yes. And that's the thing. Saying your dream out loud doesn't mean you're married to it forever. It just means you're letting it exist.
I love that. Letting it exist, not achieving it, not perfecting it. Just letting it be real for 5 seconds.
Right. And maybe that's enough for today. Maybe courage isn't quitting your job or moving to another country. Maybe courage is just whispering to one person, I want something, and I'm scared to say it.
That feels so much more achievable and so much more honest.
Okay, let's slow down and look at some useful words from today's conversation.
First word, vulnerability. This means the quality of being open to emotional harm or criticism. It's the feeling of being exposed. Example, saying your dream out loud requires vulnerability. Or, many people avoid vulnerability because it feels unsafe.
Repeat, vulnerability.
Vulnerability.
Next, irrational. This means not based on logic or reason. Example, the fear of saying your dream isn't always irrational. Sometimes it's very logical. Or, an irrational fear is one that doesn't match the real danger.
Repeat, irrational.
Irrational.
Next phrase, to let something breathe. This means to give something space, time, or freedom to grow or exist naturally. Example, your dream needs air. You have to let it breathe. Or, don't keep your hopes locked inside. Let them breathe once in a while.
Repeat, to let something breathe.
To let something breathe.
Next word, to suffocate. This means to die or struggle because of lack of air. Figuratively, it means to feel trapped or unable to grow. Example, a dream that is never spoken can slowly suffocate. Or, too much pressure can make your creativity suffocate.
Repeat, to suffocate.
To suffocate.
Next phrase, to unlock something. This means to open or release something that was previously closed or hidden. Example, saying her dream out loud unlocked a new sense of possibility. Or, sometimes one small conversation can unlock years of fear.
Repeat, to unlock something.
To unlock something.
And finally, permission. This means approval or allowance to do something. Often used emotionally, not literally. Example, many people are waiting for permission to want more. Or, you don't need anyone's permission to have a dream.
Repeat, permission.
Permission.
So, Lisa, after all of this, what's the takeaway?
I don't think there's a big dramatic takeaway. I think it's smaller than that.
I like smaller. Smaller feels real.
I think the takeaway is this. Your dream doesn't need a parade. It just needs a witness.
Like a witness?
Yes. One person who hears you. One person who doesn't laugh. One person who lets your dream exist outside your head for 5 minutes.
That's so gentle. And so possible.
Exactly. You don't have to shout. You don't have to post it on social media. You don't have to tell your family. Just find one safe pair of ears. And whisper.
What if someone doesn't have that one safe person?
Then say it to yourself. In the mirror. Out loud. Just so you can hear what your own voice sounds like when it's telling the truth.
That's actually really beautiful.
Yeah. And maybe that's enough for today. Not a dramatic life change. Just a small, quiet act of courage.
So here's our question for you, our English Spectrum family. Not in the comments if you're not ready, but somewhere, to someone, or just to yourself.
What is your dream? The one you've been too scared to say out loud?
You don't have to achieve it this week. You don't even have to start it. Just say it once.
Let it breathe for a moment.
And see what happens.
This is Lisa.
And this is Tom.
And you've been listening to the English Spectrum. Be kind to your dreams. They're quieter than you think.
Bye.